think of the United States, we imagine the land of opportunity, where anyone can achieve the American dream. But there's a shocking reality that contradicts this image. Thousands of Americans who work full-time literally live in their cars. We're not talking about unemployed or hopeless people. We're talking about active, salaried workers who wake up every day in a car seat, shower in gyms or public restrooms, and go to work 8 hours or more. This situation has a name: working homeless, or homeless people who work. And the numbers are alarming. In cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Seattle, it's estimated that about 25% of the homeless population has some kind of job. But how is this possible in the richest country in the world? The answer lies in a perfect storm of economic factors that have come together in recent decades. The cost of housing in the United States has skyrocketed disproportionately relative to wages. In California cities, for example, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment can cost $3,000 a month or more. To afford this without spending more than 30% of their income, a person would need to earn at least $10,000 a month. But the American federal minimum wage has been locked at just $7.25 an hour since 2009. Do the math. Working 40 hours a week at minimum wage, a person earns about $1,200 a month before taxes. Even in states where the minimum wage is higher, like California where it reaches $15 an hour, it's still only $2,600 a month, insufficient to cover rent, food, transportation, and other basic needs in large cities. The result is devastating. Supermarket workers, restaurant workers, cleaners, security guards, and even substitute teachers are choosing to live in their vehicles because they simply can't make ends meet at the end of the month. And we're not just talking about old cars. Many invest in vans or small trailers, transforming them into veritable mini houses on wheels with makeshift beds, privacy curtains, and basic kitchen systems. The COVID-19 pandemic has drastically worsened this situation. Millions lost their jobs, and even with the subsequent economic recovery, rents rose even faster than wages. Landlords took advantage of the high demand to raise prices, and many tenants who fell behind on payments during the pandemic were evicted as soon as the moratoriums ended. But there is another crucial factor that few mention: the American healthcare system. Unlike Brazil and most developed countries, the United States does not have a universal public healthcare system. Any medical emergency can cost tens of thousands of dollars. A simple trip to the emergency room can generate a bill of $5,000 to $10,000. Surgery easily exceeds $100,000. Many Americans who live in cars have reached this situation precisely because of medical debt. A serious illness in the family, an accident, and suddenly you have an impossible debt to pay. To avoid complete bankruptcy, these people sacrifice fixed housing and start living in their vehicles, allocating all possible money to pay off these debts or maintain some type of basic health insurance. Geography also plays a key role in this phenomenon. In the United States, unlike Brazil, where the best job opportunities are concentrated in a few metropolises, many medium and large cities offer work. The problem is that the best opportunities, the jobs that pay the most, are precisely in the most expensive cities. San Francisco, New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, Boston. This creates a kind of cruel dilemma. You need to be in these cities to have access to the best jobs, but you can't afford to live there with the salary that these jobs offer. Take San Francisco as an example. It is the heart of Silicon Valley, home to tech giants and startups that move billions of dollars. But it's not just programmers and engineers who work there. These companies need cleaning staff, security, receptionists, maintenance workers, cafeteria employees. These workers are essential to the functioning of the city, but their salaries do not keep pace with the astronomical cost of living in the region. The result? Many of these workers live in their cars parked in industrial neighborhoods and company parking lots after work, or on more distant residential streets. Some municipalities have even created safe parking programs where people living in vehicles can spend the night without being bothered by the police, with access to basic restrooms and security. American culture also contributes to this phenomenon in complex ways. The United States has a unique relationship with the automobile. The car is not just transportation. It is a symbol of freedom, independence, and personal identity. There is even a romanticization of life on the road, of the free person traveling the country in their van. Movements like van life on social media show influencers living incredible adventures in customized vehicles. But the reality for most people who live in cars is anything but romantic or Instagrammable. It's waking up with back pain, having to find a place to shower, not having anywhere to store clothes properly, facing extreme heat in the summer or intense cold in the winter. It's the social stigma, the constant fear of being approached by the police, the difficulty of maintaining a professional appearance for work. And here we come to a crucial point: the criminalization of poverty. In many American cities, it is literally illegal to sleep in your car. There are laws that prohibit overnight stays in vehicles parked on public roads. The official justification is to maintain public order and the appearance of neighborhoods, but in practice, these laws serve to push poor people away from visible areas, away from the eyes of the middle class and tourists. Workers who live in cars frequently report being woken up in the middle of the night by the police, receiving fines they cannot pay, and having their vehicles towed. Losing a car for a person in this situation is simultaneously losing their home and their means of transportation to work. It is an almost definitive sentence to extreme poverty and life on the streets. The education system is also intertwined with this problem. There are American children who attend school regularly, get good grades, participate in activities, but at the end of the day return to the family car. The McKinney-Vento Act guarantees that homeless children have the right to education, but it does not solve the housing problem itself. The COVID-19 pandemic drastically worsened this situation. Millions lost their jobs, and while some managed to return to the job market, many never recovered financially. Rents, on the other hand, skyrocketed even further during the pandemic, with increases of 20, 30, or even 50% in some cities. There was a temporary moratorium on evictions, but when it ended, thousands of families were thrown onto the street. Even those who kept their jobs struggled to keep up with the new market prices. There is also a generational dimension to this problem. Millennials and Generation Z face a completely different job and housing market than the one their parents knew. Decades ago, it was possible to work a summer job and pay for college. Today, students graduate with tens of thousands of dollars in student debt, start their careers with salaries that barely cover their basic needs, and find that buying a home is an unattainable dream. Many young professionals live from rental to rental, always one step away from housing insecurity. What is most shocking is that this happens in the richest country in the world. The United States has more billionaires than any other country, but it also has one of the highest inequality rates among developed nations. Wealth is concentrated at the top, while the working class struggles to survive. This disparity reveals a fundamental flaw in the American economic model, where economic growth does not translate into quality of life for all. Some local initiatives attempt to combat this problem. Tiny house projects, conversion of abandoned hotels into affordable housing, and housing first programs that give apartments to people without requiring sobriety or employment as a prerequisite. These programs have shown positive results, but they are too small to solve a problem of this magnitude. It would require massive investment in public housing, a significant increase in the minimum wage, rent control, and policies that limit real estate speculation. The issue is also moral. In a society that prides itself on values such as hard work and meritocracy, how can we explain that people who work 40 or more hours a week cannot afford a roof over their heads? This exposes the hypocrisy of a system that values profit above people, that treats housing as a commodity instead of a basic human right. For those who live in their cars, each day is a struggle for dignity. They juggle to hide their situation from coworkers, look for safe places to park at night, and face constant physical and emotional strain. Many hold out hope that one day they will be able to escape this situation. But the reality is that, without profound structural changes, more and more Americans may find themselves living in their cars, proving that simply having a job is no longer enough in modern America.